So till yesterday we have seen what? We have seen these HP and VP. Okay? And now we have also seen that how the front views are coming on VP and the top view is coming on HP. The point can be placed in first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant or fourth quadrant. All these things we have seen. Now let it be first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant or the fourth quadrant. In all the cases, my front view is always on vertical plane, whereas my top view is always on the horizontal plane. Clear? Now today what we are going to see is what happens with the distances when these points are kept out there. Although this point is not existing. This point is not existing. So let's see, say this distance out here, it is say H from HP and L from VP. H from HP, L from VP, H from HP, L from VP, H from HP and L from VP. Clear? Now, if I want to place these points, so how will I place these points? First of all, we talk about the first quadrant. First quadrant. How is the point kept with respect to HP and VP? How is it kept? It is kept above HP and in front of VP. It is kept above HP and in front of VP. Okay? Now let's talk about the second quadrant. In second quadrant, how it is kept? Second quadrant, yeah, boliye.
In front of VP.
It is in front of
VP.
Is it? Is it in front of VP? Where is the observer? Observer is on that side. Agreed. So it goes behind VP. Behind VP and above HP. So it is above HP and behind VP. Clear? Third quadrant please. Third quadrant. Now the point is here. So it is behind VP. The observer is here now. It is behind VP but below HP. So I can simply say below HP and behind VP. And what about the fourth quadrant? How is this? It is in front of VP and below HP. So it is below HP and in front of VP. Is it clear? Okay, please take it down. So, again let's see this thing. What is happening? The point is in first quadrant, it is above HP and in front of VP. The point when it goes into the second quadrant, you are sitting out there, observer, then comes the reference plane is coming out here. So it is behind VP, above HP, here, behind VP and below HP, here, below HP and in front of VP. Is it clear to everyone? Yes. Okay. Now let's talk about the distances. See, when this point is here, H above. This point is H above. Where can I see this distance? In which view can I see this distance? Huh? If I am standing like this, where can you see my height? In front view or top view? In front view. Obviously, this distance of H from the HP will be seen to me in the front view as small h. And this distance will be seen to me in the top view as small l. Okay? Similarly, out here, this H will be seen to you out here. This L will be seen to you out here. This L will be seen to you out here. And this H below HP will be seen out here. This H will be seen to you out here. This L will be seen to you out here. Now let us try to bring all these things in 2 dimension. All these things in 2 dimension. And let's see where does the distances go. For example, this distance which was above HP, this distance which was above HP, and you were able to see it on VP like this. This was H, and from VP you were able to see out here. This was L. Now to bring it in 2 dimension, I'll keep VP as constant. Rotate HP in clockwise direction like this. Now see what has happened. The distance which was above HP remains above XY line. Agreed? Whereas the distance which was in front of VP goes below XY line in the first quadrant. So here I will say that the distance which was above HP is seen to me above XY line, whereas the distance which was in front of VP is seen to me below XY line. Okay? Let's talk about the second quadrant now. In second quadrant, what is happening? This is the distance above HP. Okay? It is seen to you out here. Now when I rotate it in the clockwise direction, above HP remains above XY line. Whereas the distance which is behind VP, which is on the HP, it also goes above XY line. So in both the cases, what is happening? It is going above XY line. So in second quadrant, I can simply say that the distance which was above HP is seen to be above XY line, where the distance which was behind VP is again seen to me where? Above XY line. Okay? Next, coming down to the third quadrant. Where is the point? It is out here. That is below HP and behind VP. Now look, if it is below HP like this, then this edge distance is seen near VP out here. Now if I rotate it, what is happening? That distance below HP is remaining out there only. That means distance below HP is seen to me below XY line. Whereas distance behind VP, what is going to happen? It is going to come up. So distance behind VP will be seen to me above XY line. Okay? So here I have distance below HP is seen to me where? It is seen below XY line, whereas distance behind VP is seen to be where? Above XY line. Coming down to the fourth quadrant. This is below HP. It will be here. After you have rotated it, where does the distance go? It remains below XY line. This is in front of VP. You rotate it, where does it go? It also goes below XY line. That means the distance which is below HP is seen to me below XY line, whereas the distance which is in front of VP is seen to me below XY line. Now I can simply conclude one thing, that is, let it be any quadrant, first, second, third or fourth. Any distance which is above HP is seen to me above XY line. Any distance which is below HP is seen to me below XY line. Done? And any distance which is in front of VP, first quadrant and fourth quadrant, is seen to me below XY line, and whereas any distance behind VP is seen to me above XY line. That is these two places. Am I clear to? Okay? Now let's see what happens if this point slides down. If this point slides down. That is, this was the h height I am having. If I keep on bringing it down, what is happening? The front view is also coming down. And finally, when it goes into the HP, where will the front view go? On XY line or not? Will it be coming on XY line or not? That means, can I say this thing, anything in HP, its front view will always lie on XY line? Or vice versa? If something is in HP, its front view has to lie on XY line, or vice versa. Vice versa means if something, the front view is on XY line, then that point or that whatever the object is, it has to be on HP. Okay? Let's take another example. What happens if this point starts moving this way? Let's take it in a very simple way. Say you are standing on a roof. Okay? And one of your friend is walking in. Suddenly he or she finds someone of your place who are known to him, and they start talking. And while he or she is talking, what they have done is they are just keeping one leg inside the door and one leg outside the door and just standing like this. So when you are looking from the top, how will it appear to you? As if they have gone into the wall. But till the time they were approaching the wall, that distance was reducing. That means when this point was moving towards it, the distance from VP was reducing, and I was able to see it in the top view. The moment this point comes into the VP, if I see from the top, what will happen? Its front view will be on, its top view will be on XY line. Am I clear? So can I say this thing that anything in VP, its top view will always be on XY line? Okay? So till now, what we have seen orthographic projection of points. Now if we keep on joining points, what will be formed? A line will be formed. Okay? But the end of a line will still remain as a point. Say this is point A and say this is point B. Okay? And in how many ways can I keep this line in a quadrant? Because we are going to deal only in the first quadrant. So in how many ways can I keep this line in the quadrant? For example, if say this ball is my VP and the ground is HP, in how many ways can I keep it? Infinite ways. I can keep it in infinite ways. Okay. But there are few peculiar positions which we must be knowing about. The very first one, when the line is turning out to be parallel to both HP and VP. The second one, when the line is inclined to HP only, but parallel to VP. Third one, the line is inclined to VP but parallel to HP. And the fourth one, when the line is perpendicular to VP. And the fifth one, when the line is perpendicular to HP. Now let's see one by one what happens with them. Let's talk about the very first one, when the line is parallel to both HP and VP. If it is in this condition. If you are looking from front, what will you see? You will see the actual length of this line. Okay? So that is the front view of A is A dash, the front view of B is B dash, the top view of A end is A, the top view of B end is B. Okay? Coming down to this one, now what happens? Keeping one end as constant, I just simply incline this line like this. It is still parallel to VP, but now making some angle with HP. And this angle is called as angle theta. This angle is called as angle theta. Okay? So, this is my end A and this is my end B. Now let's see how are the projection of this line coming. Look here. What is happening? When this line was inclining, say you are standing on a roof, okay, and you are watching someone or some person is lifting a pole like this. How will that pole appear to you? As if it is getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. And finally, when this pole becomes exactly 90, you will be just seeing as a point view. You will be just seeing as a point view. First thing. Second thing, in which view can I see this angle theta? In which view I am able to see this angle theta? Obviously in the front view. So this angle theta is seen to me in the front view. And what about the length in the front view? I am able to see the actual length, technically called as true length of this line in the front view. Whereas the line is getting shorter and shorter in the top view. Okay, more the inclination, shorter the line will be appearing to me in the top view. And finally, it will be appearing simply as a point to me. So this length, which is the actual length, is called as true length, whereas this is the reduced length, so I will say reduced length as RL. Okay? Coming down to the third part, that is when the line is parallel to the HP but inclined to VP, and that inclination is now represented by angle phi. The line is AB. Now just look at it. If I keep on inclining this way, what is happening in the front view? How can you see the line? It is reducing, and finally when it is just perpendicular to VP, it will be appearing as a point to you. Okay? So in front view, I will be seeing this line as reduced one, whereas in the top view, it will be seen to me of its actual length, that is the true length. So let us see those projections now. So here we are with the views. I can see that the line is appearing of its reduced length in the front view, whereas it is appearing of its original length in the top view. That is, this is the true length and this is the reduced length. More the inclination will be there, shorter the line will be appearing, and finally at 90 degree with VP, it will be simply appearing as a point 2. Clear? Okay. Now coming down to the last part, that is this. Now see these two lines. This line is perpendicular to VP. Hence I am obtaining only and only the point view out here. Whereas this line is parallel to HP, so I am obtaining the true length on HP. On the other side, this line is perpendicular to HP, so I am obtaining only a point view out here. whereas it is parallel to VP, so I am obtaining a true length on VP. Okay? Now, what is the important thing which I can conclude? Look at all these views. This line was parallel to both HP and VP. So, the views or the length of the line on VP as well as on HP is of true length, the original length. Whereas in this case, it is parallel to VP. So I am having true length only on VP, i.e. that is in front view. Whereas in the top view, I am having it on the as the reduced length. Coming out to this thing, this is parallel to HP, so I am having true length on HP. Whereas on VP, I am having it as reduced length. If you look out here, it is parallel to HP, so this is I am having the true length on HP, and this is parallel to VP, so I am having a true length on VP. By looking at all these things, I can conclude a very important conclusion, and that is, if a line is parallel to some reference plane, I repeat, if a line is parallel to some reference plane, then the view on that reference plane will always be of true length. I again repeat, if a line is parallel to some reference plane, then the view on that reference plane will always be of true length. If a line is inclined to some reference plane, then the view on that reference plane is of reduced length. More the inclination, shorter the line will be appearing. And finally, at 90 degree, it will start appearing to me as a point Q. Clear? So now, let us try to see what happens when the things are being brought into two dimension. That is, which is the line which is to be removed, which is not existing? Capital AB. Capital AB is not there. So I will simply be removing it from there. Only the projections are there. Agreed? Only the projections are there. Or you can simply say the representations are there. Now, the time has come to get the things into the two dimension. So VP I will be keeping it as constant, and I will be rotating the HP in the clockwise direction. When I do this, so if you look properly what is happening, this particular projector from here to here, this will simply open out like this, and it will be appearing as a straight line. And I can see that and A dash and A, which are the projection of capital A, are appearing on the same projector. Same thing is happening with B dash and B. Coming to the next diagram, the line is inclined. This angle theta is seen to you in the front view. When this is rotated in this way, what is going to happen? This pink line, the reduced length, will go below XY line, whereas this will be remaining above XY line. Coming down to this thing, what is going to happen? The angle phi, which is seen to you in the top view, will now go down with the line. So this is the true length. Here I have the reduced length in the front view. Okay, and then finally the point views and the true length out here. Now, as we will be working with the two-dimensional views, then definitely I have to make some thumb rules. As we have made in points. And going for the thumb rules, let us see very interesting concept out here. And this concept will be followed right from here till the end. Look at this line. How is this line with respect to XY line? Is it parallel or not? It is parallel. What about this line? Parallel. Okay. If this is parallel, how is the length of this line? Length of this line. True length. This is parallel. This is true length. Come up to this diagram. This is parallel. This is true length. This is not parallel. So this is not a true length. Agreed? This is parallel, this is true length. So this is not parallel, hence it is not a true length. Can we conclude a very important conclusion from here? That is, if a line is parallel to some reference plane, if a line is parallel to xy line, then its other view will always be of true length. Parallel, true length, parallel, true length, parallel, true length. If the line is not parallel to xy line, its other view will never be of true length. Now there is a big confusion among the students. What they do is, if I ask them, if a line is parallel to xy line, then the answer which is coming is, so the other view is inclined. It's a very important thing. Note, the other view can be inclined, cannot be inclined. It may be inclined, it may not be inclined. Both the things are there. But one thing is of sure, that it will be of true length. The line may be inclined, okay, but it has to be of true length. That is of sure. That is the compulsory rule. Am I clear? So, if a line is parallel to xy line, the other view will always be of true length and true inclination, where theta is the inclination with HP, inclination with HP, and phi is the inclination with VP. Rather, we call them as true inclination with HP and true inclination with VP. Clear? Now we will be talking about the traces of a line. What is a trace of a line? That is, if a line is extended in such a fashion that it goes and intersects some reference plane, then the point where it intersects that reference plane will be called as intersection, or the trace of that point. For example, if this is my HP and if the line is coming in this way and if it comes and intersects out here, then this is the point which will be the trace on the horizontal plane, hence it will be called as horizontal trace. Whereas in this case, if the line is extended, it goes and intersects the VP out here, then the point where it is intersecting, this is called as the vertical trace. Am I clear? Now, look at this diagram. If the line is extended, so actually, to be truly speaking, this line does not exist. But as we are taking as a reference, so if this is extended like this, then definitely its front view will also be extended like this. Its top view will also be extended like this. And this is the point where my line is going to intersect the horizontal plane. So this is called as horizontal trace, given by capital letter H. Obviously, this H will have two views, one front view and one top view. So the front view is given as H dash and the top view is given as H. Okay? Now the time has come to bring the things into two dimension. If I want to bring the two things in the two dimension, what I have to do is, I'll first be removing this line which does not actually exist. As this is not existing, I'll be removing it from here. Okay? And then rotating the HP in the clockwise direction. Now look what is going to happen. Just look at this line. A dash till H dash. This will be appearing to you out here like this. And this point will be your H dash. When you open it, then this particular line will be appearing as a straight line to you out here. And this particular line will be extending and intersecting it here to give you H. Then this distance from XY line is the horizontal trace. Okay? Similarly, in case of VP also, what we will see is, that is, if this line is extended, obviously its top view is going to get extended, its front view will also be extended. Where it intersects the VP, that point will be nothing else but vertical trace, given by capital V. This capital V will have two views. One as the front view out here, one as the top view out here. Done? Now if I remove the line from here, that is, the original line is now removed from here, only the projections are left. So look what is going to happen when I try to bring everything in two dimension, this way and this way. That is, this particular line will be seen to you out here. The point of intersection with the XY line will be small v. This particular line will be appearing as a projector like this, and this extension part will be coming here as out here, and the intersection will be nothing else but V dash. Intersection will be nothing else but V dash. And this is nothing but the vertical trace of the line. Okay? Now let's talk about this particular line. The line which is parallel to both HP and VP. Keep on extending it on both the sides. Will it ever intersect HP or VP? Will it ever intersect HP or VP? You keep on intersecting it out here, say it is kept out here. You keep on extending it here. You keep on extending it there. Will it ever intersect HP? Will it ever intersect VP? No. That means the traces will be absent. Or if you see this particular line, if you keep on extending this line anywhere, that is this one, it will go and intersect VP. Done. But will it ever intersect HP? No. Why? Because it is parallel to HP. Similarly, you keep on extending this line. Keep on extending. It will never intersect VP. Why? Because it is parallel to VP. So can I conclude this thing? If a line is parallel to some reference plane, then the trace on that reference plane will always be absent. If it is parallel to HP, then the trace on HP will be absent. If it is parallel to VP, the trace on vertical plane will be absent. And if it is parallel to both HP and VP, then trace HT and VT both will be absent. Clear? Now as I can see that HT is coming on horizontal plane. HT, which is a point, it's coming on horizontal plane. Hence its front view will always be on XY line, given as H dash. Whereas vertical trace is coming on vertical plane. Hence the top view of this will always be on XY line. That means small v will always be on XY line, whereas from HT, H dash will always be on XY line. Hence I can simply say this thing, that irrespective of any condition, the H dash and V will always be remaining on XY line. Whereas your H or V can keep on changing their position depending on the position of line, which we will be seeing when we are going for the line inclined to both the planes. Okay, now before concluding this particular topic and this particular chapter and starting the line inclined to both the plane, let me tell you a very interesting fact. Now if you look out here, when the line was inclined only to VP and parallel to HP, I had front view as a reducement, whereas in this case, when the line is inclined only to HP and parallel to VP, I had reduced top view. Now when the line is going to be inclined to both HP and VP, definitely my front view will also be of some other length and my top view will also be of some other length. Agreed or not? That means the true parameters will be different and what will be seen to me will be totally different. So whatever I am seeing will not be existing and whatever is existing will not be seen to me. And those are called as oblique lines. We'll be taking few examples over it when we meet in the next lecture, and at that time I will be making the line inclined to both the planes called as oblique lines. Okay?